Okay, first things first, I did my high school at Staff Hope in the independent school.
Staff Hope, yeah?
Yeah, so I was doing 8 subjects.
8 subjects?
Yeah, so on top of those 8 subjects, I got 7 distinctions.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
Did you only get 80s or did you get 90s? Did you get both?
It was kind of like both, yeah, both of them. There were 80s, then some 90s.
Can you please tell me what your name is and where you're from?
My name is Sandile Giane. I'm from Mpumalanga in KwaNdebele, in a place called Wamhlanga, Sun City C. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for coming. And yeah, I think, man, currently you're studying at UCT.
Yeah.
So this is your second year.
This is my second year in UCT, yeah.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying BSc in Civil Engineering.
BSc in Civil Engineering?
Yeah.
And how did you find your first year?
My first year was quite challenging because it was a big shift from high school, yeah, where like you knew if you're going to study, you're going to pass. But when you get to university,
Yeah.
there was a time, I think last year, I failed my class test 1 for
Okay.
maths.
Okay.
So as someone who has, let me say, got quite good marks in high school,
Yeah.
when I got here, my first class test, I failed. So that was it was a big shock for me.
Yeah.
So I saw definitely I'm in a different environment.
Different environment. You have to adjust.
I have to change the way I do things.
Adapt, yeah.
Yeah, because it was hard. But as time went by, I got advices from like senior students on how to maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think before we sort of touch on more on Varsity, just to give everyone a bit of background about your high school.
Okay.
So when I say background, I mean like how many subjects were you doing in high school, and how many distinctions did you get?
Okay, first things first, I did my high school at Staff Hope in the independent school.
Staff Hope, yeah?
Yeah, so I was doing 8 subjects.
8 subjects?
Yeah, so on top of those 8 subjects, I got 7 distinctions.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 7 distinctions. I could have gotten 8, but
Okay.
English did me dirty.
You didn't get English?
Yeah, I didn't get
So-
English. I didn't get a distinction for it. Yeah.
Okay. So what were your stream subjects? Did you do accounting, physics, maths?
No, it was science, like math, physics, and life science.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you only get 80s or did you get 90s? Did you get both?
It was kind of like both, yeah, both of them. There were 80s, then some 90s.
Just to ask, how did you do it? I'm talking about high school. How did you do it? How did you get a distinction in maths? How did you get a distinction in physics? What are the different things that you can advise someone to say, if you study maths, study it this way. If you study this, study it this way. How do you do it?
Well, it all depends on the kind of resources you have, Yabo.
Okay.
So for me now, I used my teachers a lot for both maths and physics and life sciences, which are the majors. Yeah.
Yes.
So what I did is when I had a problem, because I used past papers a lot.
Okay.
They really pulled through for me. So when I encountered the problem in those past papers, I used to go to my teachers a lot.
Okay.
So that I can consult with them.
Yes, on the approach and everything.
How can I approach this problem and stuff, So I went back home, revised. I used this study technique called active recall.
Active recall.
Active recall method. Where
Okay.
you are studying your notes, maybe. Study your notes, you cover the content, then on a separate sheet, you kind of set a test for yourself. You write questions based on what you studied. Then without looking at your notes, you're trying to transfer all that information.
No.
Yeah.
So you read, study, then you open a new blank paper, you try to write everything that you wrote that side.
Yes.
Okay.
Based on what I studied, I answer the questions. First you...
One mic.
Yeah, okay.
So
you set questions for yourself based on what you studied. You answer those questions without looking at the thing. Then you go back. It's sort of like an exam. You take for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't cheat. You take for yourself.
Yeah.
yeah, what kind of progress have you made in this thing? And when it comes to maths is a hand-on subject. Yeah,
Okay.
it needs like practice. You cannot just study math with just by looking at it. You need to solve equations like
Practical.
yeah. You need to immerse yourself into the thing.
No. That's proper. So active recall. Try to
active
study, and then
works.
after studying on from a piece of paper or from your textbook, try to write those things. Try to remember all of them. If you can't remember everything, go back and see what you missed, and maybe try again from scratch so that you see if you covered everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's good. And big question: does that work here? Because you did say that your first test.
Oh yeah.
Does that work in varsity?
It kind of works, but in a different way.
Okay.
I don't know. Because let me tell you, first semester last year when I was doing my first year, we cross night, me and my friends,
Okay.
in preparation for the class test for maths we're going to write.
Yeah.
So I used that method I used in high school,
Yeah.
but still I failed. So I had to go back to the drawing board to see, okay, what can I change here and there? So
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah, what happened? What are the mistakes that I did?
And yeah, just maybe one last quick one. How is UCT the way that you thought it was going to be? So remember that when you were in high school, you had an idea of what the UCT is like, what the university is like the life, the parties, everything, the freedom. Is it the same, or is it worse, better, or it's whatever?
Well, in varsity, not just in UCT in general, there's plenty of freedom. So you have to be disciplined on how you can manage your time, because it's very easy to skip classes, and once you start skipping classes, it becomes a sort of an addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. It becomes an addiction. You keep on skipping classes, then you are left behind.
True.
And you all know the consequence of that.
Being left behind. Yeah, you never catch up.
Yeah, you never catch up.
If you want to improve your marks in your high school subject, at MindLab Tutoring, me and my team of dedicated UCT students, we have assisted a lot of students into getting into their dream universities, and we can also assist you into getting into your dream university. Please make sure that you sign up in the following form, and then we'll contact you so that you can become part of our circle of top performing students.
So what I do, Mina, is to manage my time. I draft like a study timetable, which is like the thing that I did in high school also.
Okay.
Study timetable to see it at this time, this is the course that I'm studying. At this time, this is the course I'm studying. Some extramural activities.
Okay.
Probably I'm going to the gym.
Okay.
So I include that in my schedule.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that you know everything.
Everything.
You leave nothing for interpretation. You want to
Yeah.
see it and know it.
Yeah, we take this time when I'm in, because there's a lot of freedom.
Okay.
No glala easy, you can sleep
You can sleep
for the whole
easily.
day.
Sure.
Be on TikTok for the whole day. And
Okay, so one thing to just include before we end the video. So, particularly this week, this was the first week for the year,
yeah, it was.
and this is your second year.
Yeah,
And for the entire week, there has been protests.
there's been UCT process. Yeah.
There's been protests,
Yeah.
and then how do you find that? Do you find that to be disruptive, or as a second year you enjoy because everything is online?
I wouldn't say I enjoy, but as a second year, you've got some experience on how you can tackle your work in
Yes.
like a first year.
Sure, that's
so
true.
this is how I'm going to study. This is how I'm going to catch up. You have a bit of experience, but it is a distraction, because as I'm sitting right now, I have to catch up, because the first week was kind of hectic. The online lectures where they don't work for me, so I need like in-person lectures,
to interact.
which is starting tomorrow.
Sure, I think I think this is the end, but one last question. Like you said, now you need an online interaction with your lecturer, and you also did mention that in high school you wanted to consult with your teachers. Would you say that it's important to build a relationship with your teachers in high school in order to get good marks, or you don't need a relationship? Just ask them, they answer you, go do your thing.
You need to maintain like a good relationship between them. You cannot just, let me put it this way, udelelu teacher rakho, then you come again, ask for help.
Yeah.
So the help that he or she will give you will not be the same as the help that he or she gives the person amhloniphayo,
Okay.
the person
They
oh,
respect or they
is valid.
yeah.
So there has to be some good relationship between you and the teacher so that you have
Even when you go to them, they are welcoming.
Yeah,
they are
they-
welcoming
yeah,
to
well,
you coming to them.
yeah, they
That's
are more
actually a
eager to
solid
help
advice.
you.
Yeah. That's actually solid. So make sure that you build the relationship with your teachers. Be nice. Maybe raise your hands up in class. But if you don't want to raise them, that's fine. But don't disrespect them. So that when you need help, they'll be more open and more willing to assist you.
Yeah.
Than if you were a bit of a trouble in class. But yeah, no, thank you very much, Boza. I really appreciate it, and all the best with your second year. And yeah, you guys take some notes, try and apply some of these things. But also, guys, please make sure that you become critical in applying everything that he's saying. Obviously, he had a different environment that you might be in, you might not be in. So try and see if what he has done, see if it works for you. But if it doesn't, try and adapt and find something else that works. Yeah. Cheers.